I don't think we understand how basic leadership programs are. Sometimes I'm amazed what companies are asking us to do for their managers, okay, their leaders, the senior leaders. And I'm like, you should not be trained on that. You should be fired. Once I was asked to run a P&L training for a board of directors. And I was like, what? Feedback training for senior leaders, how they can give feedback to their teams. It's not even appropriate for managers anymore. And this is why I always say, build your talent development strategy in a structured way. So what that means, if you want to go to a supervisory role, you need to complete these trainings before you get there. If you are a manager, you want to go to a leadership role, you need to have these trainings. So we don't end up training senior leaders on how to give feedback. Because this should have been given when you were a line level employee aspiring to be at supervisory level. So we have a massive gap in there and we're just going back and forth and nobody's developing. But my biggest problem with this is that we are giving an entire workforce to leaders who are sitting there and not even knowing how to run their companies, how to talk to employees, how to give feedback, and how to regulate their emotions. Now, on that note, if you have a shouting and screaming and abusive manager or leader who can't regulate his or her emotion, here you don't do training. Emotional intelligence training is not going to work because we learn emotional regulation when we are between the age of 3 to 7. So if the person skipped that phase for whatever reason, you do not spend money on that because you're never going to make it, you get the person out. Does that sound harsh? Yes, it is. But the alternative is that you are pumping money into that individual while the workforce, the team of that person and everybody around him or her is suffering. People should come with the basics. And if they don't have that, they're going to have to go out and figure it out for themselves. Because if you are in a managerial leadership role, the basic is literally emotional regulation. And if you don't have that, you should not get that job, no matter how good you are in your job. And let me give you a very specific example of how that sometimes look in the workplace. Without the screaming and shouting, because there is such a thing as bullying and passive aggression. So here is a restaurant general manager whose staff resigns. First of all, she rejects the resignation because she's short of staff. Who cares? That's your problem. So this person, the line employee, is suffering and struggling because now she's not allowed to go by home and she has a ticket because she got a job in a new country and she needs to go. They are going back and forth. The general manager of the restaurant says, no, you cannot leave because I don't have staff. And then she says, I'm giving you my resignation and you sort it out. So this general manager is pregnant. So what she says to the line employee, if I lose my baby, it's because of you. What would I do to that person? Fire her on the spot. That's what I would do. Because no training is going to have that type of mentality and the sense of arrogance and the sense of entitlement that I can actually say and emotionally blackmail others.